And welcome back to Kissimmee, Florida for match 3 of 4 today from field 4. And it is the second match taking place in Group B of the NCCAA Men's Division I Soccer Championships. The opening match was certainly a thriller, but it saw one of the two teams involved eventually defeated 4-2 at a couple of injuries. One that's still in affecting proceedings today. Batterman, one of the starting central defenders for Columbia International, the team in the shaded blue uniforms with the gold and white trim. He is not available. Re-aggravating a bruised sternum from the regional. Uaz, the Spirit in the orange out of Arizona, breaking forward first. Ball across in front. Oh, what an opportunity immediately for Samuel George. The ball was teed up for him, but the Spirit not quite done. 11-5 on the season. Been a great year. Just the second year of the program for Ottawa University, Arizona. And the first ever NCCAA appearance for either of these schools, the CIU Rams as well. The inaugural appearance in that 4-2 defeat. It was very close, involved a lightning delay. Lemus off his line, keeps it checked, but energy from both benches. Ricardo Navarro, the man making the run. Gill to flick it on Marcos de Paz. The 8 in the shaded blue is one of the key players for CIU, freshman out of Brazil. Jeremiah Ruth slipping a through ball. He's pulled it off, Nathaniel Ruth. It's blocked out for a corner the other direction. Andrew Bravo. CIU needs a win in order to have a chance to advance. That's something that Coach Bill Brenly was very aware of. Said you got to come out flying, and we could very well see some great end-to-end nervous stuff early with Ottawa University, Arizona, in its first ever national tournament and its second ever season as a program. The lack of Batterman in the back line going to be evident. There's not a ton of size defensively for CIU. Have to make up with it for determination, according to the snap ball. And what a save! Needed it from Nascimento. It was an excellent shot from Pressridge. Came flashing across the face of goal. There's a great chance for each team inside the opening 3 minutes. Pressridge end up in the starting lineup with Batterman out. Batterman one of the 2 goal scorers. Marcos de Paz got the other for CIU in the opening game. CIU with the advantage of having already played. But CIU's already played one match, and Uaz fresh. That's one of the last teams to kick off its tournament. The Spirit. Ball quickly teed up in the corner, bending towards the far post. Lemus, all he can do is punch it over for another corner. He was uncomfortable with the idea of catching it. Made a couple of big saves in the first game for CIU. But Hugo Lemus, the sophomore out of Sanford, North Carolina, also had 1 or 2 that he could have pulled back. A free kick from Ulysses Miranda that did strike his hand. This is a complete mishit out of the corner, coming in about 18 yards out. Niad Rocham had it clear. Barreto is going to try and unleash Gordon. Pacey winger up the right side of the field. Kyle McDowell sees it out of play. Throw down the side. George. Ripped off possession. Miguel hassling Navarro. Gordon. Barreto tried to get it forward to Marcos de Paz. It's been flicked down by Azim Sobi. Barreto has done really well to flick it along. John Canner. Or Connor, the player that come in, and we got another foul. Ricardo Navarro with the hands on Romulo Barreto. Barreto takes the lion's share of the set pieces for CIU. Columbia International ball into the 18. not flicked meaningfully towards goal. Gordon challenged, and it was put out of play by Selby. Yair Gill. And from Niet Brocham. CIU trying to sustain some pressure now. Marcos De Paz has it come back to him. De Paz lurking at the edge of the area. De Paz into the 18. Ping pongs around and it's come out. Selby, the chance to launch the break. Tapped into the middle. Ruelas has Navarro. Navarro blocked by Yair Gill. Ruelas slipping through. Navarro is onside. Brings it to his right foot. Shot saved. It's come back in front. Flicked over. Oh, what skill. Romulo Barreto rolling the dice to put it over his crossbar. Navarro whistling it across the face of goal. After the initial save from Hugo Lemus. End-to-end stuff in the opening minutes. No feeling out process at all. Falls edge of the box. Lashed at by Victor De La O. Very few players you encounter that have 5 letters in their whole last name and 3 words. De La and then an O. It's a particular kind of flair for the man from Ripon, California. Garces. Nathaniel Ruth. Brought back by McGill. George to make life difficult for Pressridge. He fouled him. Pressridge got to the spot first. Lights have been kicked on here in Kissimmee. Men's group play be wrapping itself up tomorrow. Nuaz will be a part of that. CIU will not. CIU will be waiting, either nervously or already on the way home. De Paz. Gill. Romulo Barreto. Oh, he keeps it moving. Nathaniel Ruth. De Paz. Barreto. De Paz. That's a sharp foot in from Ruelas. Staccato step of Ochoa. Navarro. Finding room on the right wing. George takes his touch. Lays it back. Didn't have anybody. Ochoa was calling for it, but George thought he was in a different window. Out for Gordon. Slid forward. Raheem Gordon touched it wide. There's a chance to run on. Jeremiah Ruth will lay it off for Raheem Gordon into the corner. Gordon. Can he bring him to his right foot? He can. Has a shot blocked. De La O. Real strong left foot. Ochoa stepped right by Yair Gill. Where will it open up to? Navarro. Niet Rocham. Gets caught with a foot in. Across, handled by Garces. And it will be a corner for the Spirit of Ottawa at Arizona. Ricardo Navarro, the sophomore. Rocham. Dumped back into the box. It bounced free to Yair Gill. Into the box again. Lemus had some backspin, drawing it towards George. But Lemus was there. His throw is spun out all wrong. Settled by Connor. George battling through 1 through 2. Navarro, the touch wide. He's been fouled. The first real decision needing to be made by Elvis Osmanovic, the head referee today, and he's given a foul 18 yards off. Pressridge caught in on Navarro, who's been the conductor of the flow. Now, who will be set to take this? Mauricio Ochoa of Elk Grove, California. The ball virtually on the line. A four-man wall erected by Hugo Lemus. And he's taken up a residence at the far post, but there are options there for Ochoa. You can expect this to be on target, or at least at goal. After the long delay, Ochoa off the wall. Garces, the man with the block. It wasn't high enough quite, and it's always tough that short of a distance to get it up and down again. McGill got a hold of the whole thing. Who has a better run of the last few minutes, but with 13:29 still in the first half. We're just getting started in what promises to be a very exciting matchup between the number 8 seed in CIU and the number 5 seed. And Uaz, first ever appearance getting the 5 seed. Flat ball across Marcos De Paz. Both programs in their first ever NCCAA appearance. It's been flicked along by Navarro. Niet Rocham deflected by George, but not enough to put Lemus off. Lemus, he tried to play it. It's fallen for Navarro. Will he be able to have a shot? Navarro's walking it in, puts it in front of the goal. It slides through. Ochoa, what a chance. Oh, my. McGill imploring his goalkeeper, Hugo Lemus, to use his hands in that situation. And the objective stance would be in agreement with that. As Lemus was in the box, he could have picked the ball up, decided to play it quickly with a weaker left. It went flat and right to Navarro. Surprised Navarro didn't try for it. There were a couple of chances for Uaz to find a goal in that situation. McDowell. Niet Rocham. Skips it out of play. Chase in the corner, but the flag is up from Rob Huffam, the assistant on the near side. Who has 11-5-1, and with the loss yesterday, CIU 11-9-0. Gill, and can't say it enough. Two teams here for the first time. Uaz in its first ever NCCAA game. Down the flank, Navarro, he is onside. Roving all over, Sobey. Stopped up by Gill. Now 30 yards from goal. An optimistic hit from David Lopez. He cracks a wry smile. Certainly didn't get on top of the ball. Ball up into the air. Pressridge and McGill caught looking at it. Navarro flapped it into the corner. Ochoa. Ochoa's done great work to get into position. Penalty. Penalty given. Pressridge on the challenge. Osmanovic with a decisive motion. Pressridge getting stuck in on Ochoa. The chance now falls to Ricardo Navarro. Ottawa University of Arizona from Surprise, Arizona. At the hometown of the man teeing up the kick for the first ever NCCAA goal for UAS, if it'll go in, Ricardo Navarro. Lemus in goal. Osmanovic checks his line. Everybody else, just a spectator. Ricardo Navarro has put it away for Ruaz, and it's 1-0. The Spirit out front with 75 minutes yet to play, 30 in the first half. And after a fantastic chance, which Navarro passed up earlier, this one he steps up, chooses, and finishes. The 9th goal of the year for Ricardo Navarro to lead the team. Jeremiah Ruth on the restart. It was a similar situation for Columbia International University in the opening game, conceded even earlier, in fact, before finding a way to turn things around against Grace College. Found an equalizer after the lightning delay, ended up falling, of course, 4-2, but showed the ability to fight back and made that one very interesting into the second half. Need a similar performance now. Obviously wouldn't have been the preference for CIU. UAS will look to try and continue the momentum it had built continuously as the match has gone on. Ochoa, who won the penalty, up for Navarro, bolstered by his goal in the flashing orange. Looking to switch, has pulled it off, accurate for Ruelas. Something on Marcos de Paz. John Connor involved, and de Paz is still down. Ball from Rocham to Gordon. Gordon, legs swept out. Free kick has been given after Raheem Gordon is shifty. He just drew the leg in of Giovanni Ruelas. This was within danger distance for a service from Barreto. It's fallen in front, headed towards goal. Nascimento, who had to make a spectacular save earlier in the game, also off a set piece, is called into action again, but it was aimed right to his chest. George. Rocham. Into the middle, McGill steps forward. He keeps the run going. Marcos de Paz. Poor ball off the foot of de Paz. Navarro. He tried to drop it back from McDowell. Ochoa. McDowell. Chance to swing at it with his left. How will it fly? Yair Gill. And bring it down. Lopez. Uaz starts starting to gain significant offensive possession. Watch him. Played in by McDowell again, just a little too far for George. Is in and around, ball still bouncing around the box, shot, and it's just wide. Bodies flying everywhere. It took a heavy deflection. Navarro is the player that put the shot towards frame. Hugo Lemus was just a spectator. .26:04 left in the first half. Flat ball, Lemus gets a fist to it. Marcos. Here, McDowell able to turn. Brings it back to Bravo. De La O. Orella, so he had Navarro streaking through, snuck in behind Gill. And Rocham had it red. Poke to the corner. Ruelas. Sharp ball. George. Cut away by Pressridge. The right foot shot takes a deflection and will be another corner for Uaz. Fairly even back and forth to start the match, but CIU in need of a victory, in trouble, already down a goal. Taken quickly. Knocked away by Nathaniel Ruth. Hit low. Needs a save from Lemus and gets it. What a strike by Lopez. Tried from a little farther out earlier and wasn't even close, but that one was testy. Connor has headed it forward for George. He's taking it off Rocham. Ahead for Sobey. Sobey across the goal. Saved off the line by Pressridge. What a play. Navarro crashing in. It snuck under Lemus. And Pressridge with a magician's move to put it up over the bar. Threat not gone. George pops it back for Lopez. Going to have another. And it's as tame as the first. Third and the first, not much. The shot in between from Lopez. Something to think about. McGill has fished it away from Ochoa. McDowell stepping forward to launch an attack for Uaz. Wanted George, but it's settled by Yair Gill. Up for Marcos DePaz. DePaz trying to slip Gordon in. De La O late on the scene, made the play. And a foul back at the delivery of the ball on Barreto. He's going to get an extra word or two in with a Elvis Osmanovic. And a player will sit down. I think it's Sebastian Rodriguez, the Paraguayan. Is going to usher out the trainer with 23. And running on the clock, now 22:58. It's stopped. 1-0. Uaz already 10 shots for the Spirit to 2 for the Rams. Rodriguez up, able to walk under his own power, but it's the running that's the trouble. Replacement for Rodriguez, Carabo, Merritt Lane. And play resumes. Uaz very energetic back and forth with some great saves going both directions to kick it off in the first 5 minutes. But after that, it's been Ottawa University of Arizona tightening the vice grip a bit. The goal from Navarro on the penalty spot. But he's had 2 other great chances. Gordon. Yair Gill. Up for Nathaniel Ruth. He's flipped out by Ochoa. Pressridge. Low driven ball. Taken in by Sobey, controlled, and there are numbers to run. Dummied ahead by Ochoa, caught. McGill up. Ochoa. Out wide. Ruelas wanted Navarro. Poked away by Yair Gill. Lopez skips by 1. But Jeremiah Ruth coming back to take the ball away. Offside flag is up. Not called with Uaz in possession. Connor tries to hit it with some drawback to Navarro. It's heeled for Connor. Connor towards the back post, has a target. Brought down in the middle. George flips to his right foot, but Nathaniel Ruth hopped into the spot to keep him from getting a shot off. Filled the space. Gordon couldn't figure it out in time to keep the break going with Jeremiah Ruth. DePaz test his luck from distance. Nascimento. Brazilian shot and a Brazilian save. Nascimento's been the guy all year. Made a key save real early in the match when the flow had not yet been determined. Gill. Gordon. It's bumbled into by Sobey. Wide for McGill. Malitsane. Jeremiah Ruth finds some space to turn, try and put the ball into the box. Surprising amount of space for him to do so, but there wasn't a target to find. Pressridge charging ahead. Had it pop away from him, ball through. George is onside, played onside by the center stripe. My goodness, he couldn't bring the ball through. Gill and Rocham recovering. Connor. Malitsane does enough to put him off. Barreto with a perfectly weighted ball for Gordon. Gordon is in behind. Nascimento off his line. Yuri Nascimento, and he's going to need the trainer. Had something left to him. And Raheem Gordon of Arima, Trinidad and Tobago. He's left to look to the sky. That was a perfect ball. Popped in from a Romulo Barreto. Slipped right between 2 defenders, and Gordon got there with his pace. He just didn't pick up Nascimento coming off his line in time. And Nascimento is still down. He's rolled the flat on his back. Logan Free, the other goalkeeper from Bonnie Lake, Washington. And he'll get his quick warm-ups in behind the bench just in case, as Nascimento looks like he will be okay to continue. quick water break for those on the field. Two substitutions are queued up for Ruiz as well. Nascimento is forced to bring the ball back. Nascimento cleared. Now doing the clearing. Flicked along. Stopped by Pressridge. Ruelas. Back for Ochoa. Hazim Sobi. Connor in support. Sobi. Back for Lopez. Popped over the top for Connor. Late recovery from Pressridge. And he's flown it out for a throw. Miguel Acosta and Carlos Lopez. Both coming in. Acosta identified as, well, one of those players to bring the energy off the bench, the 13 in orange. Navarro, the goal scorer, and Ruelas as well off for Ottawa University, Arizona. Taken short. No long throw option in the department. Couple of balls out over there in the row. It's a workout for the ball boy. You get another one to John Connor. Popped out by Azim Sobi. And a corner has been won. Raheem Gordon closing down. Swung in by Sobi, but it's cleared comfortably for CIU. Malitsain did enough to put him off. The ball thought it might catch up to Malitsain. Now Jeremiah Ruth launching something of an attack. Romulo Barreto trying to find another through ball, but it hung up and didn't quite get through for Marcos Topaz. But a bad turnover. Hazim Sobi didn't really see Barreto coming in behind him, and Barreto is there again. Goal kick given. Appeals from the Columbia International bench for a tug on the shirt of Barreto. It was there, but how important was it? 16:33. All left to play in the first half with a 1-0 UAS lead. Pressridge did put that out of play. McGill always seemingly in a battle on whatever side of the field he's on. Won the throw. It's lofted up the field. Wanted to get to Malitsain. Sobi. Connor. Something for Ochoa to go after. Niet Rocham heading it back for Lemus. Got enough on it. He had to. Lemus has scooped this one considerably. Ramped ahead from Jeremiah to Nathaniel Ruth. Topaz. Yair Gill. A turn and face. Rocham. Vietnamese center half plays it through. Barreto. Topaz. Determined resistance from CIU. After Ruiz had a real spark and run of play for 15 minutes or so. Produced 3 great chances, including the penalty Navarro converted. Settles for Hazim Sobi. Gill, excellent tackle from Gill. Raheem Gordon. John Connor to take it away. Della O right across the face of Gordon. De La O forgot the ball. Nathaniel Ruth has happily removed him of his duties and been fouled, says Elvis Osmanovic, the head referee. Nascimento setting a one-man wall a ways out to try and impede Romulo Barreto. Barreto's left foot swinging it towards the far edge of the 6. Out of the scrum, it's cleared dramatically by Andrew Bravo. Near side of the field, Ochoa has a wave of orange following him. Connor, 4 or 5 Rams caught up the field. The left side of the field wide open, but Uaz perfectly happy to work the right. Ochoa blocked by Prestridge. 3 more changes before the ensuing corner. Christian Gennaro, Slade Weber, Jordan Rocha. The Italian Gennaro out of Biella, Italy. Well, he's coming to take the corner. Has an in-swinging foot for it. That's the main reason to go ahead and make a substitution like that. Lopez Sobi and Ochoa off these last 12:47 of the first half. Gennaro. Dangerous area. Game all the way to the ground around the penalty spot. George far side, lost it. Had the chance earlier. Samuel George played onside by the midfield stripe. He'd snuck behind Rocham and Gill, but couldn't bring the ball out in front of him first touch. Strange to consider that an opportunity so far from goal, but it certainly was. Throw down the line. Wayward. Last 3 shots have all been for Columbia International, so there has been a pushback by the Rams after that dominant bit from Ottawa University, Arizona. But George takes a deflection, other corner, getting a lot of set pieces for Uaz. And Gennaro is in to take them. Now there is a height advantage for Uaz with players like De La O and Jordan Rocha up on these particular plays. And taken short to McDowell. George with the left foot. It's going to fall for De La O, poked away by Prestridge. Jeremiah Ruth up for Gordon. Uses his face as part of the control. Long ball for Jeremiah Ruth. Nascimento, miscommunication, it's fallen. Nascimento trying to call his way in. Go ahead and play that with his feet. It almost backfired spectacularly. Marcos De Paz, touch into space to a right foot. Now weaving around, he's in a crowd of 4 or 5. Now Marcos De Paz, he is able to get it wide for Melitsain. Across, falls for De Paz. His shot blocked. Now Melitsain over the bar, but another solid push for Columbia International University. More changes coming for Uaz. Levi Arobi and Jacob Garcia to relieve George and De La O. Roby, a late addition to the roster, blonde hair and tow, in the 29 in orange. It's the last man added due to injury. But even with that, said he could make, Matt Gow, the head coach, said he could make a real impact in this tournament. That's what they believe, even though he's just a freshman. Through looking for Nathaniel Ruth. Swept out by Slade Weber. McGill. Back for Gordon. Nathaniel Ruth slipped in Jeremiah. Jeremiah across. Weber knocks it down. It's still bobbling around, and Slade Weber whips it clear. Jeremiah Ruth, has that gone in? And it gone out for a corner kick. Took a deflection. It was not the service into the area that Jeremiah Ruth wanted in that instance, but not a bad result either. Romulo Barreto. Inside the final 10 minutes of the first half, was with a 1-0 lead, Ottawa University of Arizona on a Navarro penalty. Barreto headed away by Bravo. And Barreto, second time asking, tough one. Nascimento answers in the air. It just tailed a bit too close to the Brazilian keeper. And Nascimento with his delivery out to Gennaro. Met by Gill. Jeremiah Ruth. Bobble it forward. John Connor has covered the entire field sideways. Thrown in, Gordon. Brought through by Romulo Barreto. McDowell shovels clear. Pressridge committed to go forward. Say he handled it. 7:19 in the first half. Puts us at 52 in the rest of the game, with Uaz up a goal in its first ever NCCAA game. CIU's second ever, both in their first NCCAA Nationals tournament. Selby. The last touch by the Rams. Substitution coming. Ramson Larios for John Connor. Who has utilizing a lot of depth in this first half, changing out the vast majority of the starting lineup. Even though it's just its first game of the tournament. Weber, Roby, something to go after again. It's a good ball over the top. Acosta back to Roby, chance to put the ball across. Roby has, it's a teasing ball bouncing around, cleared by Pressridge. Fell into a good area. Jacob Garcia was the player that met it. Gordon twirled down and it's waved off. Sam Gillespie, the assistant referee on the far side, letting his boss man in the middle, Elvis Osmanovic, know that that was not a foul with a wave of the hand. Pressridge goes to ground. And the foul going against Duaz, this time Osmanovic himself on the call. Ruth. Jeremiah Ruth. Yair Gill. Rocham. Jeremiah Ruth. Ball Ball ahead, Nathaniel Ruth. Can he bring it down? He turns. Gone down in the box. Appeal. Nothing given. Nathaniel Ruth finding himself in quite the dangerous position. Knee at Rocham. Did it take a touch on its way out? It did not. It's too far for McGill. 4:19 left in the first half. Who was dominant in the middle part of the half, but Columbia International University with the last 4 shots taken in the match. It was a 10-2 discrepancy in favor of the Spirit. Now just the 10-6. Well-weighted ball is launched in attack. Roby. So long run for Carlos Lopez. He will get there with options in the box. Gennaro, chance to take a touch and shoot. Not quite enough time. And Rocham has it clear. Opportunity to run the other direction. 3:27 left in the half. Mullet Lane. Jeremiah Ruth will have his shot. He put it over the bar. Got underneath it too much. Horn of the other match coming to close. 3 minutes left in ours in the first half. Battle for it. Neither makes contact. Falls for Yair Gill. Merritt Lane. Motioning for a run from Gordon on the opposite side. Gordon flying in. Not to it. McDowell trying to shield. Gordon got there, and now Raheem Gordon has a chance to cross the ball. Late arrivals. Cleared away, but it's all haphazard. Going the other direction. Roby, the freshman. At a gallop, he's going to cut it back to his left foot. He's toppled 1, toppled 2. Roby closed by Pressridge. He dropped Nihat Rocham to the ground. Nathaniel Ruth wanted to get it to Merritt Lane. Marcos DePaz. Bumped from behind by Jordan Rocha. Rocha integral to the clearance moments ago, but did come into the back of DePaz. A card has been issued to Miguel Acosta for protest, I believe, after. Romelu Barreto had a couple of balls from this exact spot almost in the match. Clock stopped at 1:51 in the first half. Elvis Osmanovic administering the afters, a conversation with the U.S. bench. Barreto's been floating these to the far edge of the 6. He's gone there again. Nascimento couldn't find it. Collision with Nascimento. And a couple of different Rams. But the ball ended up over everybody. It's the reason Nascimento couldn't get to it. No hurry for Yuri Nascimento. McGill down for Gordon. Needed a clearance from Andrew Bravo. Depending on where this falls, could be a chance going the other way for Ottawa University of Arizona. Now a collision. Ruth through the body of Slade Weber. A yellow card to Jeremiah Ruth. Ruth also picked up a yellow card in the first match that CIU played against Grace. A player that likes to live on the edge, Jeremiah Ruth. Weber, the fouled party, able to float this one to about 25 yards out. Sharp turn. Romolo Barreto. Merritt Lane. There's room for Merritt Lane. Running down the left side as we're 35 seconds left in the half. Merritt Lane, leave it. Romolo Barreto. It's all gummed up in the middle of the park. Nathaniel Ruth. 27 seconds. McGill. A look to get the ball into the box. Hangs in the wind for Yuri Nascimento. He will be in no hurry and try and kill off the rest of the half, presumably. Nascimento flies it, Pressridge up into the air. He's been toppled over, and that's how the final few seconds will come to pass. 1-0. Ottawa University of Arizona leads Columbia International University. Both of these teams, their first ever appearance in the NCCAA's men's soccer tournament, and it's UAS that has the advantage in its first ever match in the tournament. CIU needs to win to stay alive. Second half, be right back. The NCCAA Men's Division I Soccer Championships. On for the second half between CIU and UAS. Ottawa University, Arizona. Merritt Lane, what a run by Merritt Lane in front. Marcos De Paz, seconds in. His shot blocked. It falls for Jeremiah Ruth. But how about a way to get it started? CIU going left to right on your screen. UAS with a 1-0 lead going right to left. CIU needs to win to keep any hope alive. And it knows it. McGill. Pressridge wanted to put it back forward, but possessions come away with UAS. Jeremiah Ruth. Poked away by Hazim Sobi. Gordon. Back from McGill, chance to cross it. Dangerous ball, but no one had the run. In for play in the back right corner. Nathaniel Ruth. A wild exchange as Ruth puts it well away from everything, including the field of play. The shots measured at 10-7 after the effort from Marcos De Paz. Get the feeling there are a few more twists and turns for this game to take, especially after that break forward by Columbia International. But Ottawa University of Arizona on a penalty from Navarro, won by Ochoa, has the advantage in its first ever NCCAA game. Dropped over the top for Ochoa. Ochoa, something for the Englishman, George. George, the edge of the 18. Flat ball across. It's going to set up nicely. What a touch of the shot. Wide. Oh, sliding second effort. Far post. Ruelas had the initial shot, and it was a long run up for Hazim Sobi. He was the one sliding at a second ask. It would have been very difficult at that sort of angle to get it on target and by Lemus. Just slipped off the end of the cleat. Merritt Lane through the wickets. Gordon, Merritt Lane. Barreto. Cleared emphatically by McDowell. Navarro, foul. Niet Rocham. The ball actually entered the field of play, affected things for just a bit. On the other side, not the downside of having two matches dual wielding right across from each other. Margot Stepaz. It's too close to Slade Weber. There's room to run for Ochoa against a flat back four. CIU's been caught ahead. Ochoa. Yair Gill. The interception. But what a move from John Connor. Niet Rocham is getting stuck in on the far side. Quite the battle with Navarro. What's been given a corner. Elvis Osmanovic, the first to point, the head referee. Swung in quickly, out for Lopez. He's sized up a couple of long shots already. Ruelas has stepped into the next level. His shot saved by Lemus. Has to collect the rebound as well. But Ruelas stepped right through a level. All too easy. Merritt Lane. Controlled well, but Lopez is waiting. Sobey. Ruelas. Through ball is just past the feet of George. CIU reeling a bit defensively after a very early opportunity to start the second half. McGill. This rolled right off the side of the foot for McGill. McDowell. McDowell's throw. It's going to bounce up for George. Put him in behind Pressridge. He's forced backwards. George on ahead. Ruelas on the run. Ball across. Oh, the opportunity wasn't capitalized on. Back for Lemus. Has to play it with his feet. Comes out low. Lopez ramps out for Marco Stepaz. Navarro just couldn't bring it in after the Ruelas pass. Mad at himself. Gordon. De La O can only force Gordon to the corner. And Gordon wins the throw. It was a great move by Ruelas, running off of George, who'd cut it back to the inside. Nathaniel Ruth. And teed up at distance by Jeremiah Ruth. His shot blocked. Sent up. It's 2-on-2 to bring the ball down. Niet Rocham. Barreto. Merritt Lane. Such a good touch, he couldn't find the ball. Hazim Sobey tried to control. But Barreto, the Brazilians come out with it. Yair Gill. Barreto. Roll it wide for Yair Gill. It's popped into the air, headed along. Nathaniel Ruth. Cleared out to Jeremiah Ruth by McDowell. Now Nathaniel. It's gone down right at the edge of the area. Nathaniel Ruth into the box. Oh, Nascimento, he came out to punch it, and that almost snuck into the side netting. It might just have. It took a touch somewhere on the cross or Yuri Nascimento. And a corner's been awarded. The appeal coming from the Columbia International bench for what I believe would have been a penalty just inside the box with Nathaniel Ruth going down. .37:05 still to go. 1-0 was a fairly early goal at this point by Navarro on a penalty. Under his clearance, but it's coming right back towards Ua's goal. Ottawa University of Arizona. Down the line, Raheem Gordon, he could not bring it in, but he got a piece of McDowell, who's trying to piece himself back together. Rocham. Now it's McGill and Ochoa. Navarro, a goal scorer. He's touched this one wide. Has to survive Pressridge, and he cannot. Pressridge unties him, and the ball deflects back to Lemus. Thrown out to Yair Gill. Ball through De La O. Well, he certainly changed the field. Pressridge. Yair Gill. Oh, he's found a pocket of space, hasn't he? Marcos de Paz lost it in his feet. Niet Rocham. Vietnamese center half. He's pushed himself quite a ways up the field, Rocham. Flips a back heel to Merritt Lane. Moretto pumps on one, has the second. Knocked down, and Slade Weber sends it skyward. Service into the box. Slade Weber equal to it once more. Ruelas. Nice turn, Jeremiah Ruth inside out. But Yair Gill shuts down the next ball. Hazim Sobi. Switching the field, Ochoa has an overlap from McDowell. He'll play it to him. McDowell pushing ball across into the back of the net. Navarro waiting for it at the far post on the overlap assist from McDowell. A brace for Navarro. His 10th goal of the year to double Ottawa University Arizona's lead. Do or die time now for Columbia International University. Have to win this game. 2 goals and force extra time and give 20 more minutes for the Rams to try and find a third, but 3 points just an absolute necessity for the Rams after the loss in the opener. And it's twice as far away as it was. For Ottawa University, Arizona, a massive goal for Navarro, who'd missed a similar opportunity a few moments earlier. Raheem Gordon. To his right, trying to bring it back, but just bumped right off by McDowell. And Gordon wheeling away after blocking the clearance, upset. Nascimento off the goal kick. Popped into Ruelas. Opportunity to chase for Acosta. And Acosta is checked by Rocham, but a corner for Ottawa University, Arizona. It's the man with the brace, Ricardo Navarro. He will exit, but he's all smiles for the Spirit. More likely than not to re-enter the contest. Ball swung in, skips up over Rocham. George turning, has a shot. It's deflected back. Lemus will be able to collect to prevent the corner, and he's eyeing up starting a counterattack. Wanted Marcos to pause with the punt. De La O only impeded those plans. Yair Gill only as far as Ochoa. He had the wing, Ochoa, but he's going to have to switch the side, and Gill will cut off the pass. There's Ruelas, who's fine, just a knack, Giovanni Ruelas, drifting into empty pockets of space. Lopez, taken by Nathaniel Ruth. De La O has put one out in front of Ruelas. Ruelas battling with Pressridge and McGill. Pressridge will come away with it. Romelo Barreto over the top looking for Gordon. That's something for Gordon to go after. Slade Weber in there, but Gordon fouled him, left the boot up high on Slade Weber. It's the right kind of ball from Romulo Barreto. Strong gust of wind still blowing from the near to the far of your screen. Gennaro, he skipped in, but it's too far from him. Enough a contact from Rocham to disrupt. Lemus collecting. Jeremiah Ruth. Skip wide for Gordon. Merritt Lane in the corner. A lot of running. Can't bring it under control. Might have tweaked something. And what was an awkward motion. Nascimento put in some good kicks today, and he's found George slipping to the right. A lot of man-on-man battles. Niet Rocham. Just powering ahead. Vietnamese player, but possession quickly lost afterwards. Step through the middle from Gennaro. Samuel George striding ahead, numerical advantage for Ruiz. George will take it on wide of the post. Another change being prepared, Jordan Rocha. And he will trot on hairband and all for Lopez in the middle, the more physical presence in the holding spot. Lemus to take it short. Barreto. Marcos de Paz skipping his way into the middle. A chance to run for Marcos de Paz. Haven't seen a lot of those today, and de Paz is still running. Marcos de Paz now brings it back to the far post. For Nathaniel Ruth, the target. Ruth, he's won it cleanly. Drops it off to Jeremiah. Romulo Barreto. Lot of space. McGill pushing forward to Phil. Has put in some decent crosses at another. Slade Weber. No one had the near post run. Flipped up to George. Pressridge trying to turn. And he was fouled by George. Haston McGill to restart. Raheem Gordon. The lanky winger has been frustrated this whole tournament. And a goal kick given. Physical defending against Jeremiah Ruth. Another substitution to be made by UA's Jacob Garcia. Relieves Mauricio Ochoa. Pressridge. Barreto, there's a pocket of space for Nathaniel Ruth. On his right foot. Finding a bit of area, not the same for Jeremiah Ruth. Haston McGill. Whipping one over the head of Marcos De Paz out to Merritt Lane. Merritt Lane picked his way by a one, not the second. Gennaro. Pressridge there, McDowell. They did a brilliant job of dummying it out in front of Haston McGill. Before the throw, we have another substitution. Carlos Lopez. McDowell, who assisted the most recent goal, flicked back by Nia Rocham, and the best option for Pressridge is to put it on top of the service center at the middle of the park. On we go from the near left. Couldn't get it by the first man. The shot top of the box. Absolutely ripped, but about 30 yards over. That won't do for Acosta. Might as well have a swing. 25-20 left. The CIU Rams, that could be the remainder of their season. Ottawa University, Arizona, with a win, would force a winner-take-first position in Group B. That against Grace, and would take place tomorrow. Nathaniel Ruth around Niet Rocham. Haston McGill, challenged by his opposite number, McDowell, has come around, poked it away, and fouled him. Gordon. And the door closed by Jacob Garcia. Change coming from the Columbia International University side. Deman Pewu. He's going to give Marcos De Paz a breather. Paz seems to have a bit of a knock. Keep an eye on that as it develops on the bench. Deman Pewu's certainly a very physical customer. Barreto. Ruth to Gordon. Gordon has won a Rams corner. Columbia International University scored its opening goal in the first match off of a corner. But of course the player that scored it, the talismanic center back Batterman, he is out of this match with an injury. Will someone else in his place? Nathaniel Ruth not there. We have a whistle and looked like an offsides perhaps judged. A very quick push up from Ottawa University, Arizona. change for Ottawa University, Arizona. Levi Roby. Giovanni Ruelas has been very explosive in the first couple of waves for the Spirit in the second half. Nearly assisted 2 different goals. Cemento, after the official needed to sort some afters with Aston McGill. Hazim Sobi started the half. He'll be making his return. It's Acosta who's come out limp. Two 2-0 lead for the Spirit with 21:20 left to play. The Rams need the 3 points in this match to have a chance of advancing. Extra time is in play if CIU can find 2. That's what's going on the table right now. For Ottawa University, Arizona, this is its first match. One more due up against Grace tomorrow. So, 3 points would put it in a winner-take-it position. Pressridge cuts out the pass. Ruth wanted Merritt Lane, Slade Weber, then McDowell. Blocked by Raheem Gordon. Long throw. Seems to be the order of the day for Ruiz. Jeremiah Ruth has won the throw. And McGill wanting Merritt Lane. It's been a breath of fresh air at times. Hasty McGill. It falls for Jeremiah Ruth, and he has a crowd in front of him. Gordon back into the middle. Excellent bit of play for CIU. Slipped through for Nathaniel Ruth. And shielded by Slade Weber, who's just about as wide as he is tall. Well-built center half. There's a long route around for Nathaniel Ruth. Inside the final 20 minutes. Jeremiah Ruth, who was fouled by Gennaro, the Italian. Two trying to talk it out after the play. An edge to the match, of course. Roby. Did he flick a back heel to it? He did. Gennaro keep it rolling, but Haston McGill able to keep pace with Carlos Lopez. The ball rolls into the corner. Time will be called to check on Pressridge. Ricky Pressridge, the fallen captain. Sophomore out of Jacksonville. Filling in for Batterman defensively in the starting lineup. Pressridge has picked up a bloody nose for his trouble. Afters need to be sorted. Columbia International figuring out who's going to fill in for Prestridge in the center defense. It'll be Jeremiah Ruth with Marco Stapaz entering up top and sliding everybody back. A little more offensive. Yuri Nascimento. Huffed it up. There's been a better bit of possession. Last 10-15 minutes for CIU. Just has not produced any goals. Demand Pewu. First significant touch since entering the game. Pewu and slid out by Connor. Nathaniel Ruth. Demand Pewu. Merritt Lane, Pewu. Almost changing possession rather quickly, but it's spilled out for Haston McGill for the Rams. He just missed Raheem Gordon. Quick turn for Garcia. Gennaro. Roby. Roby under the quick turn. There he goes, Gennaro. Garcia's laid it off to McDowell, who already has an assist in this game. Rocha. It's a sharp ball movement for Ruiz, but a loose touch from Roby has given it back. Niet Rocha blasting it clear. Lemus imploring his team from the goal mouth to push as far forward as possible. Yair Gill, we got a touch on it, but it knocked the ball down cleanly for Sobey. Haston McGill. He's gone for the corner, but it's run away from Gordon. Thrown in quickly behind him by McDowell. Over the top, Gennaro. As Roby. Niet Rocham. The center back is on it again. He's been very timely today. 21 shots to 10 for Ottawa University, Arizona. And the 2-0 lead to boot. Perhaps a fair reflection of the match. CIU has not been able to find the clear chance. The best was Marco Stapaz about 20 seconds into the half. Was put on a tee, but the shot was blocked. A clean volley off a cross. Had Nascimento moving all over. McDowell already has one assist, looking for another ball, headed down, wide. Great ball from McDowell. Certainly could have produced a goal. Rums and Larios coming in for Connor. The chance had fallen to Carlos Lopez, who's sweeping up and down the right, and it's one that will replay in his mind. McGill, Merritt Lane. Marcos Stapaz brings it down to his right foot. Stapaz! Not too far away from Marcos Stapaz. The Rams need one soon to try and put some game pressure back on Ottawa University, Arizona. Because right now, the Spirit in its first ever game here. Holding on to what some consider the most dangerous lead in the game. A 2-goal lead, but it's been accumulated over time. 1 goal in the first, 1 in the second. Nathaniel Ruth. He's got a couple of players on the run with him. Gordon working hard to find himself some space. Merritt Lane has turned around. Haston McGill back for Merritt Lane with the fresh legs of Uaz, making nothing easy to come by. Sobey. McDowell. Merritt Lane trying to touch down. He's twirled away from Roby. Out for Gordon. Running in the other direction. Levi Roby of Goodyear, Arizona. He's coming behind Jeremiah Ruth. Ruth only playing in the back four because Prestridge went away with a busted nose, which is still being sorted. Got in behind the midfield, Uaz, but Sobey, the loose touch. Marcos DePaz, the man Pewu underlapping. Into the middle, Barreto. Romulo Barreto. DePaz. Being hand-checked considerably by Larios. Deman Pewu undoubtedly received the same treatment deep in the corner. And what idea does Deman Pewu have for us out of this position? It's gone out for a throw, and it will be a throw for Ottawa University, Arizona, as a substitution signaled for. Miguel Acosta and Samuel George and David Lopez. Lopez George starters, Acosta the spark plug off the bench, who exited earlier with a limp, or as he identified as a toe injury, but he has fought that off. Sobey, Roby, and Garcia, the players that return to the bench. It is just massive wholesale rotation that takes place. Ottawa University, Arizona showing off real depth. 19-20 players to play a role. There has been a foul on the midfield, and this could be a chance for CIU. 11:22 and counting as Romulo Barreto is the player that went down. He's normally the set piece taker. We'll see if that affects his ability to swing this. Marcos DePaz will take it instead. Tried to catch Nascimento off his line. Not a terrible idea. Nascimento was up yelling at the defense, but it was the wrong side of the crossbar, and Nascimento, I believe, would have had it covered. Christian Gennaro subbed out with Mauricio Ochoa. Well, he's re-entered the game. Ochoa, the player that won the penalty kick Navarro converted in the first half. And speaking of Navarro, the man with both goals in this game, he's readying himself for a reappearance. George in the corner in 10.5 minutes, swept out by Prestridge, who's returned from the nose issue. Phil back in the defense, allowed Jeremiah Ruth to get a little farther forward. Here's the official change, Ricardo Navarro returning. It's the exit of Carlos Lopez, who had a fantastic chance earlier, roughly 8 minutes ago, to make the lead 3. Bender towards the back post. Lemus needed to use the ground to make sure. And he's rolled it out to Romulo Barreto. Marcos DePaz was fouled. Safe to say that some of the UAS contingent not quite convinced of the infraction. McGill. McDowell for company. He's found a way to get it to Nathaniel Ruth. And Ruth stepped inside. Slade Weber now steps inside a second, leaves it. Not a bad shot. Not a bad shot at all for Jeremiah Ruth from Nathaniel. And there was a lot to do for Nathaniel. .844 left in the season for Columbia International unless 2 goals are found. Rocham. Ball flagged out of play. Who was be happy with a chippy, slow fade to the rest of this match. It's CIU that needs to create havoc. Loose touch for George, but he's figured a way out and going to be pulled down by Yair Gill. Barreto sends it away in disgust and might have a card brandished. Some deliberation. Elvis Osmanovic taking names. No particular hurry to play it. The clock has been stopped at 7:37. Waiting for the kick to get us going. There's some discrepancy on the front of the 18. Acosta and Gordon. Not quite playing nice. The ball has just been a clean switch. Give and go allows Ochoa to try and turn, but Gordon has a pace to make up for most. Shoveled it down the side. McDowell. McDowell and McGill have certainly had their fair share of exchanges. And McGill none too pleased with the call. The ball last out off him. Chase Castro has come in for De La O. Working next to Slade Weber. McGill. Merritt Lane. Interesting touch to challenge Castro. Couldn't get a hold of the second. Nathaniel Ruth. Back for Merritt Lane. Marco Cepaz. Dancing forward. It's gone down 22 yards out. But enough of the ball was contacted. McGill has some area. He's looking to find a pass. DePaz got there, but did not have sufficient time to flick it back across the box. Time slipping away. UAS just its second season as a program, looking to pick up 3 points from its first ever NCCAA match. It would equal Grace College on goal difference as well. There was a shove in there into the back of Niet Rocham. Jeremiah Ruth overlapping Nathaniel. The pass back to Barreto, a lapse in concentration. Barreto. Marcos Stepaz is checked back to the ball. He had a goal yesterday. Player's gone down. It's a foul on Marcos Stepaz. Bit of a frustration foul as the match slips away from the Rams. Slade Weber did not start the match, but subbed in the first half and has not relinquished his spot. Go back for Nascimento. Pressure coming from Gordon Castro. To keep it moving, McDowell. Haston McGill flying in, played on the ground below him, George. George twirled around by Nathaniel Ruth. Time still marching on with 4:15 left. Nathaniel Ruth in conversation with Elvis Osmanovic. On down the line for George. He got a good bit of Haston McGill, and McGill has hurt himself in the challenge. And it was a straight-legged cramp up for Haston McGill. Clock stopping at 3:41 now. 2-0. Ottawa University of Arizona leads Columbia International University out of South Carolina. That's a pretty severe cramp for Haston McGill. It was an immediate straight-legged lay on the back situation. And after the stretch out, see if he'll be able to continue. And if he has to depart, you'd imagine 3 minutes, 41 seconds is a tough turnaround. And leg just not quite firing. Replacement will be Kevin Garces. And with that, it does seem Haston McGill has come off in tears there. The senior, perhaps his last kick of the ball. That tackle out of play that the cramp up on, and McGill, a vocal part of this match, a match CIU needed to win. Made it all the way to NCCAAs the first time in program history. But Batterman, after scoring a goal, suffered an injury. The senior central defender and now the fullback McGill will exit, presumably ending his career with a cramp up injury as well. Bitter pills to swallow, but a program building year for CIU. Ottawa University, Arizona is just getting started at its first NCCAAs. A 2-0 advantage into the final 3 minutes. Barcos de Paz is taking a tumble. Some contact, not enough to draw the foul. Acosta on the wing as he kept it in. Acosta, he has by Niet Rocham. Acosta. On he goes, played it into the middle. Knocked down, there is quite the chance on Lemus. Oh, collect it with Lopez trying to close the distance. And Acosta has gone down. It happened behind the play, didn't quite catch it. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left. The result almost settled. You'd hate to see too much to alter the fortune of Ottawa University, Arizona, a team that has every chance of advancing now going forward into the next match. And we've seen yellow cards come flying out now from Elvis Osmanovic trying to manage the last 2:22. And there was a whole crowd of players he was directed to, so eyes will be trained. Towards the stat broadcast hoping to figure out exactly where the card was issued. I think it might have been a goalkeeper Lemus. It is of little consequence, though, so there's nothing left to carry over for the CIU Rams. The palpable drama of ending campaigns in Kissimmee. Ball into the box. Headed away by Pressridge, and that struck him in the nose that was bleeding earlier. Pressridge has gone down behind the play again. Jeremiah Ruth tugging away. Now Gordon's going to get involved. This is what Elvis Osmanovic was trying to prevent. CIU with nothing to play for. UA is a team that needs to hold itself together with a lot to play for. With everything still to play for, really. Ochoa given the yellow card, caught in the exchange. Ochoa's not done. Raheem Gordon and Ochoa are still barking at each other as this carries on behind the play. Ochoa's already been given a yellow. And Ochoa being escorted by cooler heads towards the UAS bench. Raheem Gordon the same. Ochoa is going to be removed after the yellow. And a wise move perhaps to the coaching staff. Try and keep their men available. Jacob Garcia enters in his stead. Checking on Pressridge. The show stolen from Pressridge for a moment, but he'd already had the bloody nose, and he headed the ball away and went straight down behind the play afterwards. As Elvis Osmanovic will have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work to do to make sure Pressridge is okay. He's attracted quite a crowd with his injury. Pressridge will be walked off, but that does not look like something the sophomore will be able to return to this game from. As Pressridge valiantly coming back from the bloodied nose earlier in the second half, finally undone. Two players who need to come in for CIU. Ezekiel Himling of Asheville, North Carolina, has come into the game. Demand Pewu is also sizing up a return. It's just a physical presence up at the top of the formation. And present a target. And here comes Pewu. The clock stopped at 1:55. Devin Fuentes will come in for McDowell, whose night is done with an assist to his name. Solid defending as well. Jeremiah Ruth, the player subbed out for Pewu on his second yellow card in as many matches in this tournament. One of the workhorses in the middle. Barreto wants Raheem Gordon. Gordon's gone down, but it was too easy. Devin Fuentes took a piece of him. 90 seconds left to play. 2-0 lead, Ottawa University of Arizona. But perhaps the longest 2.5 minutes in the history of a college soccer game. Injuries galore, cards galore. Navarro. Hemlings just sent it up the field. Couldn't find a teammate. We have a whistle, a handball. Acosta was put on a show a couple of minutes ago down the right line. Showed his quality. He's one of the real difference makers off the bench for Ruaz. Nascimento has called everyone off. Will keep it at his feet as long as he can. Nathaniel Ruth. The effort to close it down. Booted long. Rocham. DePaz wanted space to turn into, but it'll come back down the right wing with 23 seconds. Lopez was fouled, and that might just kill off the rest of the time as Nihat Rocham has played it away. 23 shots to 13 for Ottawa University, Arizona. The team as the 5 seed in its first ever NCCAA appearance that has every chance with this 2-0 win as the horn sounds to advance. Going up against Grace College. For Columbia International University, it's the end of the line. 2 matches, no points, and a -4 in the goal differential column in its first ever NCCAA appearance. Batterman, the center back, unable